All right. What's going on, guys? It's Greg Miskos, and thanks to everyone who is tuning live on YouTube and Instagram. We really appreciate it. If you're missing us live or you end up wanting to watch the video again later, it will upload as a full video to youtube.com/ECD so you can check back if you missed anything. If you're expecting to see me in a Steve Jobs outfit, I'm sorry to disappoint. That turtleneck was probably the hottest thing I've ever put on, and these lights are pretty warm, so I don't want to sit here and sweat the whole time. But welcome to what I think is our third ever live stream video. We don't do a ton of these, and it's usually for a really important moment for the company. Our first one ever was the Focus Shaft release, which was a really long time ago. Then for our first ever head, the ECD Mirage, we did a live stream, and now we have one here for our all new program called Project Beta, which I'll explain to you guys in detail what that is all about in this video. So first, if you followed us for since the history of ECD, you know that I started this company in my basement, right playing lacrosse in college, and I really started because I love stringing, I love lacrosse, and just instead of going into some other normal job, I wanted to stay involved in the sport because it's what I'd rather do with my day every day. So then the goal was pretty much all I had on my mind was to make a better lacrosse mesh because what I had wasn't working, and I knew that players and the most important piece of equipment they had, the pocket, needed more performance. So at that time, the only goal in the company was to make a better piece of lacrosse mesh, and we ended up doing that, and that's how we were able to break into lacrosse. And now we've taken that same philosophy, trying to deliver performance upgrades through the rest of making carbon fiber shafts, and then in the head market, we've kind of kept that same philosophy, focusing on innovation and performance upgrades. So we kind of look at ourselves like the underdog of the lacrosse industry. We started so small, just a bunch of young guys who love lacrosse, but we compete with some of the biggest publicly traded companies in the world, like Under Armour, and also lacrosse companies who have been around for 20 plus years. And we know that all those companies are always going to have more employees, more resources, bigger budgets than we are. We're able to compete because we have a huge love for the game, a huge passion, and we also like to say, one of our sayings is we focus on doing very few things, but we do those really, really well. So by taking our whole company, our whole staff, and our efforts and focusing on making just the best shafts, heads, and mesh, we think that we can beat out the rest of the guys, push innovation, and give you guys some performance additions in your gear that you really need to play the best you can on the field. So this whole mission to do a few things really well, to push innovation, has driven us to grow our R&D department. I remember when it was just Mike and I in the basement making mesh. We didn't have any plan, we didn't have any research and development, no engineering. We just knew what worked for lacrosse mesh, and we're kind of running it on the fly. But now, as a much more established company making heads, shafts, and mesh, and one of the leaders in those three, we've really built out our R&D team. We have a whole innovation team. And a lot of employees dedicated to just developing those products, and things are a lot different now, but that passion has really stayed, and that's one of the things that we are really proud of. So that brings me to what Project Beta is. At any given time, our innovation and engineering team is working on tons of new technologies, stuff that won't come out for 3 years, 5 years, a bunch of stuff that may never come out, but all with the goal of bringing new technology to lacrosse and increasing performance. And so a lot of these new technologies we found are really effective, have all kinds of benefits, but sometimes they're too expensive to bring to market, or they're not ready for mass production. So we've got all these really cool projects we're working on behind the scenes, and unfortunately, we're not able to share them with you until they come to fruition in a full-scale product launch. And sometimes they never make it that far, or it would take 10 years to get there, and we never get to share them with you. So we are now developing Project Beta as a way of releasing our R&D projects as ultra-limited product releases to you guys. So we'll be opening up our vault of technology, what we're working on, what's cutting edge in the lacrosse world and outside of it, and releasing them to you guys as products you can actually purchase. So each Project Beta release will be a little bit different. It'll basically be ultra limited in quantities, and unlike most limited edition products in lacrosse, which are pretty much just cosmetic upgrades and aren't doing much for you, these limited edition projects are going to be based on the technology that bring real performance to you guys and to the field. So We are going to have our first ever Project Beta launch coming on 12/31 at the very end of this year. I think it's going to be a great way to close out the year for East Coast Eyes. I don't want to tell you too much about the project. We're trying to keep the leaks down so we can really surprise you guys with what it is, but we're really excited about it. We've been working on it for well over a year. It's a pretty crazy technology and a great innovation for lacrosse, and we really can't wait to share it with you. So 12/31, we're going to drop the first ever Project Beta product release, so make sure to stay tuned at ECD Lax on Instagram, here on YouTube, as we put out teasers and more information about that project. So now I want to open it up to questions to you guys. You can leave them in the comments right now live. I'll answer them. If we don't get to any of yours right now, or something you want to ask, you can DM us on Instagram, send us an email on our website, get in touch with us wherever, and we'll make sure we answer it for you. But one question I already know is there, and I think a lot of people were expecting this to be a face-off head launch. So the question has been, are you guys making a face-off head? I'm going to put all the rumors to rest and let you guys know. We haven't been too secret about it. We are developing a face-off head. Not going to give you many details, but we are working with the best face-off athletes in the world to develop what we think is going to be the best face-off head in the world. So that answers that one for you guys. So leave your questions down and I will try and answer them for a little bit here, as many as I can. What we got?
How did you get the name?
For Project Beta?
I guess.
So the name for Project Beta came around. Beta is kind of a term for something that is still in development or still in the prototype phase, and we just felt like that had a cool kind of ring to it, Project Beta. So we'll have a logo that we're going to launch and share with you guys on social coming tomorrow.
Did someone get the gold head for Black Friday?
Yes, the Golden Rebel was awarded from Black Friday. We are delivering the go-kart this weekend, and they are really pumped. Thanks to all you guys that entered. Sorry if you didn't win, but make sure next year I'm sure we're going to up the stakes from Yeti to go-kart. I don't know how we'll top it next year, but it should be something pretty cool.
How limited will it be?
So this one specifically is going to be limited to a very few number of units. We'll think it sell out very quickly. Each different Project Beta release is going to have a different style packaging, a different quantity, a different way we're going to release it. Each one will be a little bit different, and I think that's what's cool about it is that they're not all going to be heads, mesh, or shafts. It could be something crazy. Structure is just when we find a new technology, we're going to bring it to you guys, and whatever that means at that time is how it'll look.
Are you going to be doing anything for goalies?
For goalies, yes, we are working on new goalie gear, and I'll just leave that for now, but you guys always feel a little left out. I'm sure ECD shows you some goalie love. One question we get all the time is, are we going to make gloves? I'm not sure if we're going to make a full-scale glove launch. That goes back to what I was talking about, doing a few things well, and right now we're just laser focused on heads, mesh, and shafts, and doing those as well as possible. So everybody wants to make a glove. Send your ideas to our email if you want, but it's not something that we're really focusing on right now. Yeah.
When are the crab gloves coming out?
When are the crab gloves coming out? Crab gloves, could be a Project Beta launch. They're one of my favorite products of all time. Still have them here. April Fool's Day 2016, launched the crab claws. They can still come out. I wouldn't wait on them though.
Are you doing women's heads and shafts?
Women's products, so we have the Venom Mesh for our women's products, and we are currently working on others, shafts, more pocket products. So right now we have the Venom Mesh Runner is being received really well. So we're doing as well as we can building a brand there and developing new products, working with pros. We're really excited about the women's game.
What is the price range?
Price range. So that goes back to what we did before. This will probably, these Project Betas will be a little more expensive than the standard projects because usually these new technologies come with a higher price, but with that you're getting higher performance. So they'll be, in the future, all different price ranges depending on how expensive that specific technology is. But this one will be just slightly more expensive than the standard for it. I'm being cryptic. I don't want to give you guys too many details. I still want you to be surprised.
What is the key to being an underdog business?
Key to being an underdog business, definitely working hard. We have hard work pays off, printed right as you come into our office. That's one of our slogans and something we carry through a lot of our social media. The guys here work really hard, nights, weekends. If there's not as many of us, that means we have to work much harder to achieve the same things as some of these bigger companies.
Comments about cleats.
A lot of comments about cleats.
One person said it's like 5 times.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if we'll make cleats. You know, I wear Under Armour cleats and I love them. We'll leave those to the experts for now. Got any more last couple?
Did Mike cheat at corners?
Did Mike cheat corners? He did not cheat at corners, but he did have a pretty lucky game. If you saw his Corners for Cancer video, not only did he not hit any corners, he also didn't hit the cage. So you saw a lucky one there from Mike, but it was a good score and it was on the camera. That's all that matters.
They want to see Logan.
They want to see Logan. Yeah, I've got my son over here off the camera. But he's in the car seat. It might be kind of tough to bring over. We'll get him in a video at some point. He's already got 2 lacrosse sticks. So, all right, a couple more.
Do you have any advice for starting your own lacrosse company?
Advice for starting, I get this question all the time. What advice do I have for starting your own lacrosse company? It depends on what you want to do. Mostly these are people asking about starting their own stringing company. And I always tell people to right away try and dominate their local market. So the team you play on and the team your friends play on. If you can start stringing the sticks for everybody who doesn't do their own on those couple teams, word will start to spread in your local community. And next thing you know, you'll have probably more business than you know what to do with. So you got to be really professional, make business cards, have a pricing structure, but try and dominate your local market. Do a really great job. Quality speaks for itself, and that's how we spread early on in our business, is through word of mouth. If you do a good job, people tell other people, and that's how it spreads for free. All right, last one.
Last one. What's your favorite thing about making products?
So the question was, what's my favorite thing about making products? I studied accounting in college. I'm a CPA, so marketing, product development are 2 things I have no clue about, but I do know a lot about lacrosse and what works for gear. My favorite thing is going through the prototype process. So the day that a new prototype arrives is always the most exciting day. We get it right away. We either put the shaft on the head, we string it up with a new mesh, go right out to the turf, and shoot it. That's probably the most rewarding thing, and the thing I get most excited for is prototype arrival day. So with that, we'll wrap up the questions. If you guys have more, leave them in the comments, DM us, email us, however you want to get in touch. We'll make sure we answer them as soon as possible. Thank you guys for tuning in live. Stay tuned on @ECD Lax on Instagram for more teasers for the first project beta launch, and we'll see you on 12/31 for the release of the product. All right, that's a wrap. How do I turn this off?